Welcome to this Q&A with Topstep founder Michael Patak. We've been through a lot this year.
We have.
We've been out of the office
this
for
decade.
Yes, right,
Yes.
this decade and a year. We've been out of the office for a while, but we're coming back, and we thought it might be cool to answer some questions that you guys submitted via email and in the YouTube comments. And because we only have a half an hour, I'd say we just jump into it. We got a quick icebreaker. Little bit of an echo there. Perfect. Quick icebreaker from one of our big fans out there, level 2, asked in the comments. I'm currently short 1 micro at 33.60 with my target trailing, with my stop trailing. My question is, how far should I leave that trailing stop behind it in a market with high volume like this?
30. So he or she is in the S&Ps. I take it. I'm long right now, so that's what I was doing right before this. Is checking my long position, just long one lot, and I have a 2-3 tick handle stop because I'm in the money with it. And I just got it about 15 minutes ago. So you're looking good, and I'm looking good the last time I've checked. We are both in the money. Now the question is, I'm not letting mine run. I have a stop on mine, and there's a lot of people that do trailing stops. So that's kind of all preference. You know, it's all your strategy. I know we have an individual, a funded trader that let a big trade run, and we're going to be having an interview out on him, on his big trading day, 2 big trading days, record breaker 1 and record breaker 2, big money that he put up in his account, and he let those runners or those winners run.
Yeah, we'll have that interview coming up. So we took that just because that was a timely question, and now we'll get into some about the program that were submitted in email. The first question is a pretty good one. It's how much does one need in order to begin trading?
I know when I started in the future space, they always said you should have 5,000 to 10,000 in your account. I know you can open up accounts with a couple hundred, and I know a lot of people that do open up those accounts get them disabled really quickly because they get locked out of their trading. So I always say if you're really going to open up your own trading account, first you spend a lot of time on a simulator. Second, you've gotten really comfortable with your strategy, and third, you need at least $5,000.
That's a pretty concise answer there. By the way, I'm Jack, the content manager. Didn't put that at the top, but now you know who I am. The following person has a 3-part question, and normally I'd say that is too many questions, but you know what? Let's tackle it.
Let's do it.
First, MP, does your wife trade the markets too?
No, but I did find my wife a job on the trading floor when I first got there, so she understands the markets, and she was a trade clerk for a good 3 years, 2-3 years on the trading floor.
All right, where do you see yourself and Topstep in 5 to 10 years?
Continuing what we're doing, but in a little bit more hands-on way of helping traders create better habits, learn from their mistakes, of course, trade safely, and provide a funding opportunity in multiple asset classes.
All right, this last part of the question is a 2-part within a 3rd question. So don't go on too long because I have a feeling that we'll get to this in some other questions, but what is your vision and goal in your own life as you're helping other people do their trading? What are you looking to do? 1
foot in the city, 1 foot in the mountains, enjoy the mountains and outdoor life, enjoy the city and its theaters and restaurants and all my friends that I have here and Topstep team that's here. Balancing that along with my kids and the new additions that I keep adding to the family.
I used to not be a big outdoors guy, but then this quarantine thing has really made me appreciate just being outside.
You got oversaturated with indoors.
Oh yeah, I was a total indoor kid.
Yeah.
Inhaler and the whole deal. Question from Bobby. Hey Michael, I'm having a very tough time going from pit trader to online. What can you suggest technique-wise to help?
That's a tough one because you get habits, and I was there. Actually, I was screen trader, pit, and then did screen and print. So long story short, you gotta always have your daily loss limits. You always gotta have your circuit breakers in your own account, whether it's a Topstep or here, that stop yourself and say, hey, I need to revisit what I'm doing. It's a whole different game. We don't get the edge like we used to. It used to be in the pit. Brokers would kind of give you a little bit of an edge, and if you stood next to them. So all that kind of stuff's out the window. It's a level playing field. So now it's a lot of risk management. It's a lot of account management. Those 2 things are very, very key, and that's what I try to work on all the time when I'm trading.
Yeah, we'll probably do a whole coach's playbook on that at some point with Hogue, because he made the transition. Basically, I'd say at its core, you can't be a market maker on the screens, and so a lot of people have a lot of trouble making that transition.
Got to find a new edge. There's a new edge.
Find your edge. Yep. All right, question from Rodrigo. Hey, MP.
Hey.
Yeah, all right. He said, hey back, right there in the document I'm reading. I'm a big fan and promoter of your company to my students. Is it possible now to trade micro contracts in the regular combine account? Now, first, I think he had a good strategy of buttering you up and then asking an unrelated question.
I like this.
All right.
I like this. And yes, the question is, hold on. The question is yes. No, the answer is yes to your question. So thank you for that one. You can trade micros in the combine, regular combine, currently right now.
Michael, it's well known that you lost the proverbial S-load of money when you started. So after you lose $90,000, what motivated you to get back in the game and keep trading? And if you had to start all over with 500, how would you approach it?
I did not want to trade my own money ever again. It sucks losing your own money. One reason why we, after doing, I'll answer your question real quick. So I went to a prop firm and I learned that the simulator is a very important tool to use to learn how to trade. I didn't want to risk my own money, so I got with that prop firm, showed them I could trade in a similar format of a loss limit with a daily average and showing in a combine type of format like we have. And that's how I got motivated to get back into it. And I had to go back to trading one lots, very, very small. And that's pretty much how I got back into it.
This is interesting. We'll take a part of this next question because it's similar. What do you think caused most of your struggles early on?
Ego, big time ego, and then the willing or the want to be right. So those things really don't open up a learning aspect of it, and this game is all about, and I call it a game because I like to have fun with it, it is all about learning about yourself, how you manage risk, how you manage your emotions, manage, not control, and then how you behave with those emotions that are firing in all cylinders, whether you're up or down in a trade.
Yeah, and not that they would care at all what I think, but for me, it would be letting losers run and bailing out of winners early.
Yeah, I didn't have stops. I would let losers run. It's going to come back. Average down is the worst thing ever. For me, personally, I did not like averaging down. I blew up a lot of accounts or a lot of days or hard-earned weeks trying to average down into a trade. Winners add to winners.
That's good. Winners add to winners. Yeah, we're flying through these because we have a bunch. So we hope this pace is all right for you. You see in the comments over there? Are we doing okay?
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. It's like crossfire.
It's like crossfire.
So am I Alan Combs and you're Sean Hannity? That's not a good reference.
Do
you think your company and more funding companies will be in the funding business for 100 years to come? Ooh, that's
100 years to come, that's a long time, and we like the fact that we've carved out the funding opportunity space that didn't exist prior to Topstep. Again, I had to come to Chicago to go with the prop firm to learn a simulator after I blew out. Brokerage firms have been around all the time, and they take your money, which is fine, and you get right in the markets, which is fine, but if you're not prepared, if you're not experienced, that's not fine because your account will blow up. Or typically will blow up, nothing is for sure. So, long story short, we like the opportunity that we provide, and we feel as though we're providing an unmet need, so we think we're going to be here for a while.
Yeah, I personally plan to be dead in 100 years, but I'm glad that he's looking forward to the future.
I'll be 141, so we'll see.
You and Peter Thiel. I would like your suggestions for gaining consistency with trading.
Gaining consistency with trading, that is, that's a tough one because consistency, whether you're consistently bad or consistently good, you are consistent. There's something in your patterns that is. So recognize what that consistency is, whether you're consistently holding losers, like you said, longer than you should, or you're consistently getting out of winners way sooner than you should. Find your consistency. I hate to point at you, but find your consistency. Narrow down what it is. Call up a performance coach and say, hey, what do you think my consistency is here? And they may say, well, consistently you add to losers a lot in your trade report, or after 3 consecutive losers, your 4th one is consistently a massive loss. Maybe stop at 3 losses in a row, go take the dog or self out for a walk, and then get back into it or call it a day. So these are all things we do have to learn, but it's a lot of self-analysis, it's a lot of self-looking inside to then say, what do I need to work on?
Yeah, that's good advice for just every part of your life.
Yep.
The max drawdown and profit target in the trading combine should be 1-to-1. What do you have to say about this?
Could be, should it not be? It is what it is right now, and we're really happy with how we have it set up, and we're showing and proving that traders are getting better and they're getting funded, and they're not only getting funded, they're staying funded, and they're withdrawing to the tune of over $1 million paid out. These are people that requested the money. There are people that never requested money and building their account. That's their own strategy. I do say take money out of the account when you can. That's to you to decide to do or not.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of paying yourself. You don't want to keep too much of your net worth tied up in an account that you're using on leveraged trades.
Just keep building and building and building the account. The goal is to take money out, and that's the goal of the financial markets. Is this isn't an investing account, this is a trading account. So we're building this up, pulling money out, building it up, pulling money out, and that's how we make a profession out of it.
Right on. This is interesting. I don't know the answer to this, so perhaps you can enlighten us. Will we ever be able to use Bitcoin as a funding and withdrawing option because wire transfers take too long?
That is a very good question, and we are looking into the possibility to do this. There's a lot of logistics here and whatnot, but we are looking at it, and that's all I can say right now. But it is interesting because I do hear your pain.
Yeah, I can see how that could be a logistical nightmare, but I would imagine sometime soon we're definitely looking
Cryptos
into
are still around, and people do use them, so there may be an opportunity that lends to the top of the priority of things to work on, and then we work on that.
All right. Is it possible to set our own daily stop loss and weekly stop loss limit in the TS Trader platform? I saw the feature in Tradeovate, and I think it will be really helpful for us as a trader if that functionality can be included in TST2.
We have ours set at what it is, so therefore we don't open that up for you to change. And that's the reason, basically the reason for that is it messes up with a lot of things in our internal workings. We always tell traders to have your own personal loss limit, so that is something that I'm always going to encourage. Whether your account says, hey, bust me out at $1,000, well, you still should be busting yourself out at 900, because what if the account doesn't auto-liquidate you? I have seen auto-liquidations not work and bust people out. So needless to say that it cannot be changed on the account right now, and we do want you to practice your own discipline and shutting yourself down.
Right on. Question from Charles. Always love when the names are included. Hi, Michael. How do you suggest the best way to build an account is? Having days where you're always batting for big moves versus small days only making a few $100s?
There's some people in the office that are Notre Dame fans. There's some football people out there and whatnot. And they used to have a thing, slap brick by brick. And brick by brick basically means I've never seen anybody build an account one fail swing and then another huge swing, and then they're always doing huge swings. I've seen accounts grow brick by brick, day by day, week by week. And trading is a grind, and there will be days that you're going to hit big swings. But to say I'm going to build an account with big swings, we build an account, and I've seen it for the last 10 years with thousands of traders. You build an account brick by brick, day by day. You will have setbacks, but you'll have 2 steps forward some days, and I see people growing their account that way.
Yeah, and in full disclosure, I think that is by far the most successful way. Traders have been known to do it the other way, but you better have a strategy that is, don't just do that because it's something that happens. You're just betting too much and swinging and stuff like that. If you really have something that pays off 20x and you lose, 10 times in a row, I mean, I don't know what that might be, but if you can do it and it's consistent, do it.
Consistent. We went back to the word, we had a question about consistent. Always comes down to if your strategy is consistent, then you'll say, hey, this is consistent. I've been doing this over time. Of course, the market state can change and all that, but without getting wrapped up in this question too much, it's going to be focused on consistency. If you're consistently doing it now, then keep focusing on that because it's working for you. And if I'm finding brick by brick, and what I've seen by brick by brick, a couple $100 a day, $1,000 a day, and then you maybe have $200 losing day. This is you're moving forward. It's not just like 50 grand in a day, 10 grand in a day, the next day. So there are people that do that, but again, I'm going to always talk about majority rule and what I typically see most often.
Sure. A question from Marcel. What are you doing after a losing day?
I think you said, what are you doing this afternoon?
Yeah.
Maybe a bike ride. After a losing day, good question. I would beat myself up in a workout way. I would run longer than I typically had. If I had a losing day, it wasn't an easy day on me not emotionally. It wasn't an easy day emotionally, but you have to manage that one as well. But you want to, I said, if I wasn't disciplined in trading and I had a day where I got killed and I wasn't disciplined, I'm going out and being disciplined in something else in my life. And it was usually a workout, and for me, it was running. If it was like, I'm not like a super runner, but if you go 3 or 4 miles with me, I'm huffy to puffy. That's a big one. So for me, I'd add a mile onto my run something like that, just to be like in my head, all right, I'm done. I'm typically done. Nope, I got another mile to go. And I'd feel that pain. That's how I did it. And I got a payoff at the end of the day somehow, and it was in a more healthy life. So at least at the end of the day, I may have been undisciplined trading, but I got a better payoff in a healthier life. And that's a disciplined trade-off that I would make with myself.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4 miles longer than me. And in case they were interested this afternoon, I brought out the White Sox hat real quick because they're on this afternoon.
There you go.
Go Sox.
I would not run to the south side, though. No.
Question from Steve. Over the years, I've acquired at least 18 strategies. So what would you recommend concerning that? That's an interesting question, Steve. I think it's hard to say. Michael?
I mean, I've always heard trading psychologists say you can't really handle more than like 2 or 3 markets at the same time. So having that many strategies, I think you need to find out what are the best ones that you work with, narrow it down to 1, 2, or 3 of them, find out what market state. Remember, if the markets are trending higher, sideways, or trending down, what strategies work the best in those. Maybe you say, hey, this strategy works the best when it trends higher. This strategy works the best when it trends sideways. This one, and those are your 3. And then you always just stay conscious or recognize what market state it is. Oh, we've been trading sideways this week. I should stick with this strategy because that's the type of strategy that does work well in a sideways market.
I think kill, combine, keep on those. If you have 18 strategies, it means 9 of them are the worst 9. So
not all of them are going to be.
Not all of them are going to be working. How many total funded account traders are there in Topstep futures?
Topstep futures. We're combining the number now. We've done over 3,000 this year. Isn't it 3? I don't. Is it? Yeah, 3,000. Okay, yeah. This year alone, since the dawn of time, many more thousands than that. That's the best answer I got right now, without the breakdown.
Yeah, without Mick here. Similar question. How much time has your longest trader been funded?
Years. Multiple.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah. And again,
Charles B.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always great to see because these traders jab away, and they're not big like huge swings. They know how to grind it out. Trading is a grind. It's watching the paint dry a lot of times. Sometimes it's not trading at all. Trading can be not trading. So having an account that you can pick up, drop off, and come back into, that's great. Not having to put capital into, that's great as well. And being able to take out 80%, first 5,000, 100% right away, that's great too. So to each its own, but we've had a handful of people, I'd say, well over a year, and Charles is at the 3 to 4 year mark.
Right.
Yep.
Love this question. Hello, do you accept traders from Kenya? And if so, do you offer this funding opportunity to Kenyan citizens? Been to Kenya, love the place. And Michael?
Sure. 100%. Yeah, we have people from 100 and some different, 140, 30, something like that, different countries, either in the combine or funded. And if you're taking withdrawals, we can get the money to you.
Absolutely. How can I manage my ego after hitting my personal daily loss very fast?
Well, first you should say, hey, you hit your personal daily loss limit really fast, so your ego should not be at the 100% level of confidence in your ego. So that's what I always looked at. Like, hey, I need to curb my ego a little bit because I just got the whole rip your face off. We were talking about that. Just got crushed on that trade. I was totally wrong either on my entries or execute whatever my process was. So that should be your first thing is humility. Humility does work in the game of trading, and it works to your favor because it helps you grow and develop a little bit quicker because you're going to recognize things and you're not going to let the ego drive the ship.
Yeah, but don't be too hard on yourself either. Just keeping your ego in check doesn't mean to completely beat yourself up, because then you get into this cycle. I think Chicago Bears with field goals. I think the Minnesota Twins are playing right now. Speaking of the Sox, they have lost 17 straight playoff games.
Do they still go out on the field?
Yeah, but
no, that's the reason why. You got to
they do, but what I'm saying is you can't do that without just being completely in your head. It's become a thing. You can't let those sorts of things rattle you either.
So another answer to that, there's the ego, there's the confident, and there's the timid. You want to be in that sweet spot. I always when you swing a bat and you get it right on the ball, that's your confidence zone in trading. When you get the ego and you get the timidness.
Timidus or timidicity. Let's make up a new word.
Those things, you're not going to be you're either chasing scared money or you're digging your heels in too much and you're going to blow out. So be careful with those two. The sweet spot's confidence.
All right. Any information on past successful traders Sorry, I'm not into the internet language sometimes, so it breaks my brain slightly. Any information on past success traders, how much screen time is needed to get comfortable with the markets? That's a good question.
Okay, so I always heard 18 months is what, I've heard 10,000 hours, I've heard 18 months of in front of the screen time. And remember, there's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, all that kind of stuff is happening. But if you are, every day, you're journaling, you're absorbing lessons that you learn, you're talking with other traders, whether it's in our community or your friend or partner in life to talk about trades and what you did. You're continually evaluating your own strategy, making the corrections and adjustments that you need to make. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because there's a personality trait in that strategy that you like. So, so if you're always working on all that, it's going to take some time, and that is the reason why, yes, you could put money in a brokerage account and all that kind of stuff, but that's why we always say safety first and learn in the combine and learn that, because you want to develop and hone your skills and your strategy in a safe area without going through your whole personal discretionary funds that wherever you put it into, and then say, I kind of get it now, I know you got money. So if you get it now and you kind of get it, and whatever that period is for you, you're either getting funded with us, or you hopefully have some capital sitting there, powder dry, and you're throwing it in the markets.
Sure thing. And before we get to the last few questions here, I wanted to point out that if you want to continue with any more questions, we're running this back to school webinar right now, that the link I believe Dan put in the comments. John Hoagland is going to be talking today about technical patterns. He's been doing this for 38 years. It's a good thing.
A technical trade.
Check it out. If you don't, also with the code MARKETS25, you can get a discount. Anyone can get a discount, not just first-time people, on any size trading combine. Thought I'd throw that out there to sweeten the pot.
Yep.
But let's dive back into the questions for a couple of minutes.
Let me know if I got stopped out on my trade too.
You were wrong, did you?
I don't know. I mean, if I did, just chime in.
Schrodinger's trade. You should just never look at it again.
If I got stopped out, level 2 is even more in the money. He's letting that run.
Well, level 2 has been long Tesla a long time, so he's doing just fine.
Okay, there you go.
If you are plus $20,000 in your account and break a rule, who gets the money? You.
You get the money.
You get the money.
100%, yes. So that's a great question. You get the money, and we're not taking the money. And our whole thing of having rules is you need to follow these rules. And once you get your account to a certain point, we do have where the risk manager does work with you and said, you can open up your buying power, you can open up your loss limit, and those individuals that don't, some people will tighten it up, and if they get hit under the loss limit, we'll work with you on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, trading's hard. It sucks to break a rule and things like that, but we're never going to take your money. I mean, it's your money. You made it.
And when you sign the funded agreement, it says it's your money if you break a rule and you're positive. So,
is there a plan? Last question. I presume that's not the person's name. That is my note from Annie to do it. Is there a plan to make the program more like a prop desk, an on-location site? We have a tendency to do better when we're surrounded by other traders. I think this is a good point.
I mean, you guys can look back here. We're not coming to the office. That's a great idea. I love that idea. We've talked about that idea. When the whole COVID and the vaccine plus X amount of months happen, we may look at, we have a lot of space in here. It goes back there and around and all that kind of great stuff. And we got a bunch of desks and we have a big stage and room and we can do all that kind of stuff. So it's something that we've talked about. I think it's a cool idea. Question is, how many people are in this area that would want it? In what areas would we do this in? These are all logistical things, but I like the idea. I think there's camaraderie and humanizing of trading that can happen with that. So it's an idea that I've heard and I've thought about. So just a matter of when.
Yeah, we'll think through the logistics. I think it's great, the point that last question makes here, that we have a tendency to do better when we're around other traders because it's like your accountability partner. I remember being in a room at the prop shop, it was so much easier not to do stupid things because people would be there to call you out and kind of pull you away.
And what they're doing, you're like, oh, they're paying attention. I should be paying attention to them.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Well, with that, man, that was a barn burner. We got through a whole lot more questions than I thought we would.
Cool.
With that being said, if you want to continue this shindig, this party, this fiesta, this hoorah, you can go over to the webinar and ask any more questions you have about technical patterns or risk management or anything else to Hoag and Dan. In the meantime, we're going to sign off now. Thanks so much for stopping by, and have a great rest of the week, and trade well.